So despite not being a Nintendo franchise, I'm actually really excited about this moveset. A Hat in Time was a Kickstarter game that I'd been following for a pretty long time, and it finally came out last year, and it was amazing. It was one of the cutest, most adorable, most fun platforming games I've played in a long time, outside of the, amazing Kirby games every year. So while this game isn't owned by Nintendo, it's an indie game, it is very reminiscent toward old Nintendo 64 type platformers. The feel of it and the feel of Hat Kid feels so at home with these Nintendo characters that I would just love to see it happen. Now, a while back, I would have said it's absolutely impossible. Originally, there were no plans to even bring A Hat in Time to Nintendo Switch, but they've actually recently confirmed, as in recently enough that it was during the time I was making this moveset, that it is coming to Nintendo Switch. So I have that tiniest bit of hope, even if it's unlikely. So let's go. Starting out like usual with the tilts. The neutral tilt is just going to be a 3-hit combo with the umbrella if you hit it multiple times. The up tilt is going to be a quick little swipe up into the air with the umbrella. Now the forward tilt is going to be a little bit different. One of the big aspects of the platforming in A Hat in Time, and you'll see this more later in the air attacks, is that when Hat Kid jumps into the air, she can do these long air dashes. When she lands on the ground, she does the same sort of thing, only she sort of glides along the ground, ends up in almost this sort of like laying pose. So that's what I want to have happen for the forward tilt. Move her forward a little bit along the ground. The down tilt is going to be a little shorter range, but in Mafia Town in A Hat in Time, you can find little Mafia members and just give them this little kick off the ledge that they're sitting on, and it'll knock them down, and I just thought that would be cute for a little down tilt. The air attacks are going to be pretty similar to the tilts, so like the neutral air is just going to be a swipe of the umbrella, but in the air. Pretty simple. The forward air, again, it's going to be that air dash, that sort of horizontal dash, and you're not going to get nearly as much distance through this as you would like in A Hat in Time, because the recovery would be way too broken. It'll just be a little dash forward. The down air will be sort of similar to the forward air, but where I'm basing the forward air on her air dash, the down air I want to base on her homing attack from the game. This is how she would attack enemies for sort of below or diagonal from her. It would sort of be like a direct downward dash. Now the up air I want to base on her hook shot. This is something you unlock part of the way through the game as a way to sort of grasp onto things and swing off of them. But for the purposes of this, it would just sort of be a shoot upwards and like smack someone with the hook, for lack of a better term. Now the smashes are going to be the first place we really see the use of Hat Kid's other hats. Part of how A Hat in Time works is that Hat Kid collects balls of yarn that she then eventually uses to make new hats. So first up is the brewing hat, which in the game she uses to brew up little potions and things, and she would throw them and they would blow something up. So here she'll sort of brew up a potion, throw it upwards, and it'll explode above her. The down smash is a sort of Roomba. The Roomba you can find in Hat Kid's ship in A Hat in Time, and you can play around with it if you want, but one of the funnest things to do is to get on top of it and let it run into something, and you spin around wildly on it. Then the forward smash, I had to bring in the Mafia. Mafia Town was probably my favorite part of the game, even though it was right off the bat. I love the way the Mafia appeared in that, so just one solid Mafia punch, while Hat Kid just hangs out behind it. Keeping moving into the specials, the neutral B is actually, I know it's a little hard to make out from the picture, but it would be a laser. Now the laser patch is something you can purchase in the game, and it'll make it so in addition to having your regular melee attacks, you can shoot a laser out. And the longer you hold down B, the bigger the laser would be, until it's this massive sort of beam, sort of like Samus's ultimate, but like way toned down from that. Her down B is her ice hat. Now originally I was thinking the ice hat was going to be sort of like Kirby's down B, where he turns into the stone statues or whatever and slams straight down. But then I thought, that's boring. I already did basically that same thing with Waddle D2. So what I thought could be cool is it would do that sort of downward ice slam if you're in the air, but if you're on the ground, it'll instead launch you forward with a little spring pad, which is essentially what the ice hat was used for in the game. Now this will be a sort of set arc, sort of like Little Mac's side B, so it won't be too unpredictable where you're gonna end up. Her up B was a little tricky. I was originally thinking I would do a hook shot with this, but then I thought, that's kind of boring. So then I thought, I should get the Dweller Mask in this moveset somehow. So for the up B, she'll put on the Dweller Mask, which in game lets you see physical platforms that you can only see with the Dweller Mask. So when she would put this on in Smash, it would sort of make 3 little platforms appear above her that she would do this quick hop up sort of combo, with each jump being part of the combo. Now this would be up here, jump, 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 and then you're up in the air, because the main purpose of it would be a quick recovery. Then the forward B was kind of an easy choice. I wanted to bring in the sprint hat, which I could have the sprint hat up here as a dash, and I feel like it would, but the sprint hat also lends itself to her scooter. Now the scooter would be 2 parts. You do the forward B, and it would dash forward, think, Wario's motorcycle. But then you hit forward B again while you're on the scooter, and she'll do a sort of backflip off of it, and it'll explode in front of her. This is just a reference to how the scooter just kind of spontaneously, poops away whenever you're not using it in the game. Now, for those of you who have played A Hat in Time, you know there's one more hat left not covered, and that is the Time Stop hat. Now, the Time Stop hat doesn't really have many things you can do with the normal moveset, because you can't really just have your character going around freezing time in Smash Brothers. So, it had to be for the Final Smash. Now, what this is going to do is think sort of along the lines of Captain Falcon's Final Smash, where it takes your immediately close opponent and puts them in another situation. So here you would freeze time and do a quick little combo on whatever opponent is directly in front of you. And when you do this, it would bring up this sort of flash light and big colors everywhere. Now this is actually a direct reference to how the bosses all get defeated. Anytime you're landing the final hit on a boss, they flash in this little pink glow and lights just explode out of them. So I thought that would be a fun little way to reference the game and also be a nice little sight to see. So that's my take on Hat Kid. Now again, this isn't gonna happen. Well, I don't want to say it isn't, but it is a very, very slim chance. But I am holding out hope, maybe as a DLC character someday, because Hat in Time is so good and so fun, and Hat Kid is so cute and so much fun to play as. It would be a perfect fit.